few minutes. So, like we all know, the schedule is all about your academics, how to make a good grade in any university that you find yourself, either in Ghana or maybe outside Ghana. Any university that you find yourself today, basically, we are going to talk about your academics, how to make a good grade, how to have a good stay throughout the academic life in the university or any tertiary institution that you find yourself, how to actually um, graduate to the first class or also progress from one level to the other with a good grade. That is the most reason why we are making this afternoon, and we will start in some few minutes. Once again, I apologize for the late. It's due to some one or two technical issue that we're facing at the background. So please, if you can hear me, we are going to start in some few minutes. So we are waiting for just 5 minutes, then we can start the whole program, regardless of those that are online or not. So we are just waiting for just 5 minutes, and we can start the whole program. Yeah, God, Diana, I've seen you. Thanks for joining. We are just waiting for some few 5 minutes, then we start the whole thing. Mr. Diana, I've seen you. Thanks for joining. So in some few minutes, we are going to start, regardless of those that are online. So in some few minutes, we are going to start, regardless of those that are online. So okay, so we can't wait for them. We are starting, and then others will join us later. So a few introduction. I'm not doing the whole show or the whole event alone. It's a team that is handling the whole event, and my honorable member is Robert Obin, who is a partner with the planning of the event and everything. And I can actually see him online. All right, so we want to start, like I said earlier on, it's all about how to make it in the university in terms of your academics. Yeah, we are not here to orient you on your social life. We are not here to orient you on how to live your life, but we are basically here to give you the hidden truths, the secret you've not been told about how to make your academics, how to make good grades, how to make better class when you graduate from the four walls of any university you find yourself, including those in Ghana and outside Ghana. Anywhere you are joining us from, this particular event is going to help you to proceed in your journey of academics in the university. So, without wasting much time, we are starting with the whole show. So, the first thing I'm going to talk about is the power of the mind. The power of the mind. So, as and when I present, and you have any question, you can just leave it at the comment section, and I'll attend to you. So, if you have any question in the um, during the presentation, you can just put it at the comment section, and I will attend to you. If I don't attend to you rapidly or just after you ask the question, I'll attend to you during the presentation. All right. Once again, thanks for joining. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the power of the mind, the power of the brain, the the real power. That is what we are going to start with today. I know those that have joined us are people that are maybe some are in level 100, some are in level 200, some are in level 300. Some are coming from different, if you're a fresher, coming from different SHS. And basically, it's not all the fingers are not equal. So you may be coming from a remote area or an SHS that is acclaimed not to be the privileged ones. And then also some continuous students are also in level 200 and that they don't like what they are seeing in their portal. They agree that they have seen in the previous years. They don't like it. The power of the brain. Why am I saying the power of the brain? The power of the brain is very, very important. It's one of the two that if you don't know how to handle it, you can end your academic life in the university without making it. Why am I saying the power of the brain? The brain. As you are here, don't let anybody intimidate you. Don't look down upon yourself. That me, I'm coming from an SHS from the village, so I cannot make it. I cannot mingle. When you're in the class, your lecture theater, people are being fluent. People are asking questions. People are answering questions, but you cannot express yourself. The power of the brain. Once you start to look down upon yourself, your academic life starts to suffer. There are others that have actually made bad grades in their previous levels or in their previous semester. So because of that, they start to feel bad. They think that they cannot make it. There are others that, due to one or two reasons in level 300, level 400, as a fresher, maybe they have started to look down upon itself because they are thinking that they are a failure. But I present to you today that if you're able to manage your mind well, look at it that there is always, a backup. If you're in level 200 or a continuous student, you can still make it again. If you're a fresher and you are coming from maybe those SHS that they don't recognize, you cannot express yourself, have patience, take your time, train the mind. Let the mind tell you that you can make it. Don't look down upon yourself that you can't make it. Don't think that it's over. The mind is very, very important. Once you start to look down upon yourself that I can't make it, like I can't express myself, I can't talk, and therefore everything like you just live in a life, you don't want to give it any try, then at the end of the period, you see that you graduate with a class that you yourself you will not like. So, as I'm saying, the power of the brain is very, very important. The power of the mind is very, very important. Try to train your brain. Try to make sure that your brain is twisted, is planned. Like project your brain that I'm going to make it regardless of my background, regardless of the grade I've already, had. Maybe I've had a receipt before in the previous, years. You can still make it. Don't think that you cannot make it. It comes with your determination. So by the end of the presentation, you will know that even though you have incurred some poor grades before, even though you are coming from a background that is not good, even though you are not part of those world acclaimed SHS, you are not here on that basis, I'm still giving you the assurance that by the end of this presentation, you can still make it and make it best. So the power of the brain. Remember, the brain is very, very important too. So don't look down, but don't put it in your mind that I can't make it. Like me, I can't express myself. Me, I can't go for it. Remember that you can still make it. Now, some few things we are supposed to know about the university. Some few things you are supposed to know about the university. This especially goes to those that are joining the university for the first time. In the university, it's not like HHS that we have a final exam to write, like the WASI or the BEC at the end of the period. So, in the university, your everything changes. So, there's a saying that you have to unlearn to learn when it comes to the university. You have to have that at the back of your brain. So in the university, immediately you step your foot in the university, all academics that you are going to take, all academic work you are going to take will count on the day that you are graduating. So please, few things you don't know as a fresher or someone newly entering the university environment, as I'm telling you, make sure that as you step your foot in any university as a fresher or as a new, student in the university, put it at the back of your mind that whatever you are going to do from that first semester till you graduate will count on the day that you are graduating. So don't relax. Don't think that you have tomorrow to do it. You don't have tomorrow. It's today that you have. So start to prepare today. Take your first semester exams, your first semester quizzes, every activity pertaining to academics in the first year, in the first semester. Make sure that you take it seriously because it's going to have effect on you on the day that you are graduating. It will determine whether you are going to graduate to the first class or not. So please remember that there is nothing like um, a final exams in the university. You're supposed to make that or put that at the back of your brain that there's not like a final exam. So if it's today that you have the opportunity, make good use of it. All right, so I have seen some few people joining again. I've seen Emmanuel Kobinama inside joining. Thanks for joining. And then there's also I've seen you also joining. Thanks for joining. Now the next few things you are supposed to note as a fresher or as a newcomer in the university is that if you come to the university we have something we call mid-semester assessment or mid-semester quizzes or mid-semester tests. When you come to the University of Cape Coast, we have quizzes, we have assignments. Those things are all important when it comes to your academic life in the university. Take every assignment serious. Every quiz, take it as if it's an exam you are going to write because in the university environment, all those things count. They form part of your final, examination or your final, sorry, not examination, but your final what grade that you are going to graduate with. So if you don't take your the assignment serious, you don't take your assessment serious, you don't take your quizzes serious, your midterm text serious, it's going to have an effect on you at the end of the semester, and probably it's going to have an effect on you when you are graduating. Like I reiterated earlier on that whatever you do from the beginning of the years or from the beginning of the time that you enter the university is going to have an effect on you when you probably graduate. So remember to take your quizzes serious, your assignments serious, everything that pertains to your academics, take it serious from the very first day you step your foot in the university environment. So that is a few things I want to share with you about the university, academics that probably you are not aware of. So that is a few things I want to share with you. So I want to move to the next agenda, and this is about how to study. It's very, very important. How to study. There are so many books, there are so many videos, there are so many ways of studying. But I present to you my own way that I think can help you. Now, before I proceed, one thing you are supposed to note is that all that I'm saying is not a story, it's not a tale, is not something that you can just listen and then forgone it. If you really want to graduate with a first class or a better grade, like you have seen on the thumbnail, the reason why you are joining this particular event, make sure that you put everything I say into practice. Make sure that you don't just, take it like a story, take it like a tale, take it like a storybook that you read, and then just ignore. Make sure that Everything that I'm saying, you put it into practice, and at the end of the period, you will see the end result. In fact, I have coached some students who probably they didn't make it from the beginning, but I was able to have the opportunity to coach them, and at least they were able to graduate with a better grade as they were expecting than they were expecting. So I'm moving to the next agenda on the list, that is how to study. Like I said earlier on, how to study is very, very important, and how to study largely depends on you as an individual. So please, like I said it, like I mentioned earlier, people have books on how to study. People have videos on how to study. People have so many methods, approaches like the 4 R's or the 3 R's, whatever, on how to study. I'm not here to present to you on those methods and approach. I'm here to give you the necessary things that you need to study effectively. Despite no matter any course you are studying, you can really study it properly. Remember that everything you've learned and probably produce a better result at the end of everything. So, like I'm saying, how to study. The first thing that you need as an individual, as a student, to study is knowing who you are. Knowing yourself is the most important thing in any academic life. If you really want to graduate with a better grade, know who you are. Why am I saying know who you are? If you come to the university as you are now, you'll see some friends, they will never sleep in their room. You will see them always spending the night in the library, at the lecture theaters, at the classrooms, at the summer huts, anywhere. They will never spend their time in their rooms or their hostel. As a student, do not follow them. Know who you are. If you start to follow them, you may be making the biggest mistake in your academic life. So know who you are. What is best for you? Are you the type that can study inside your room? Know who you are. Are you the type that can study, outside the room? The library works for you. The lecture theaters works for you. Are you the type that can learn effectively at dawn, in the night, daytime? Know who you are. It's very, very important. Do not copy anybody. It is the most dangerous, thing we have ever done. Copying someone. I used to have a colleague who will always go and go to the lecture theater, and in the night to go and learn, the library to go and learn. In the night, he will spend the whole night at the mercy of mosquitoes. And the class he graduated with, doesn't match the effort he was putting in. What does he do? Anytime he goes to the lecture theater in the night, he go there and go and sleep. So if you are someone that thinks that, oh, I have to follow this person, you also go there and be sleeping, fooling someone, fooling yourself, thinking that you are fooling someone. So please know who you are. It's very, very important on how to study, knowing who you are. Are you the type that when you are studying, you have to read louder? Are you the type that you will take a short time to cover a whole lot of stuff? Are you the type that it will take you longer time to study a whole lot of pages? Know who you are. Is the very, very most important thing in your academic life. If you want to make a better grade, please know who you are. If you cannot identify who you are, try your best today. If you don't know who you are in terms of your academics, try your best today to identify who you are. Some people try to read. Some people it's group work or group studies that works for them. Individually, they cannot study on their own, but in groups, they make a better grade out of it, or they make a better impact, or they learn very frequently, or you know, um, very well when they are in group studies. It's all about knowing yourself. Know what works best for you. That is about how to study. The first point is that you know yourself. So once you know yourself, now you can study everything. Is it the best way you can now start studying everything? The next point is how do you remember all that you have studied? Remember, the whole event is about how to make a better grade. So everything is concerned on our academics. How do you remember all that you have learned? Now that you have, that you know how to study. Now that you know yourself very well, that me, I will study in the night. Me, I will study at dawn. Me, I will study daytime. Me, I will spend 1 hour on a book, or I mean, it works. A group works for me. Once you know yourself, you have learned the thing. How do you learn it so that you can remember everything that you have learned? Another most important way in remembering everything that you have learned, please write it down. Another important way in remembering everything you have learned is establishing relationship. Establishing relationship. When I say establishing relationship, I'm basically looking at establishing relationship in everything you are studying. Assuming you are in the business field and maybe you are learning accounting, maybe you are learning the conceptual framework of accounting. Look at the objective. What are the objective of the framework saying? You are supposed to link it with the final thing you establish relationship. Okay, so when you take the framework, the objective comes first. After the objective, what comes next? Maybe the purpose of the framework, maybe the advantages of the framework. Link it, have a relationship between whatever you study. If you're able to establish the relationship within everything that you study, remembering, recollecting them becomes very easy. Recollecting them becomes very easy. So, for you to remember all that you have studied, remember that you're supposed to establish your relationship in everything that you are studying. Let's take it for instance, if you're in the science perspective, maybe you've been taught a practical, something. Try to establish relationship from one point to the other, from one, topic or one section to the other. It helps you to what? Remember everything you have learned. Another way that you can remember everything you have learned is that right after studies. Now we are in the world of social media technologies. We are always on the phone. We are always on the laptop. We are always having fun watching status and the rest. That is how we are. The world we have found ourselves in now. One mistake we do is that right after studies, don't take any of those gadgets. You will forget everything you have learned. Some people, right after studies, they go for their WhatsApp phone and start WhatsApping. My brother, my sister, my friend, you will forget what you've learned. Take your time. Instead of you going to your WhatsApp, your Facebook, or social media, reflect on what you have learned. The power of the mind. You remember the power of the mind from the beginning. Reflect on what you have learned. Reflect on the things. So once you are reflecting, you realize that some of the things you have forgotten. You just go back and just quickly what? Do reference. So after studies, if you want to remember what you actually studied, don't just finish studies and just jump to your social media, jump to any gadget that will, you know, um, have influence on you, on your remembrance. So please always remember that if you really want to remember all that you have learned, make sure that make sure that you don't just immediately after studies, you don't just jump to your social media gadgets. You don't just jump to your WhatsApp. Instead of you doing that, right after studies, try to what? Recollect, try to reflect on what you have learned. The power of the mind is very, very important. Try to think like, so if they ask me a question, don't learn, we are done. So if they ask me a question, can I answer? So once you cannot answer, you go back and make reference. With that, you will be able to what? Remember everything that what you have learned. So that is about, first we talk about how to study, and then we talk about how to remember what that you have learned. That is a few things I'm sharing with you. I cannot share everything here with you. So maybe after the program and you really want to know more, you can contact Accent. I'll attend to you. So I'm just giving you a summary of everything so that it will help you one way or the other in your academic life. The next thing is that you've heard so many things about pressure. Like UCC, there is pressure. Legon, there is. You don't hear about them, but when you enter, students probably mention it that when you go to University of Ghana, there is pressure. KM University, there is pressure. Winneba, technical universities, there is pressure over there. I put it to you that there is no pressure in the school, but we, the student, you, the individual student, gives yourself the pressure. I first to make an example. You are staying in a room with your colleague, and every night he doesn't sleep in the room. He takes his book and go to the library. He takes his books to go to the lecture theater. He takes his books to go. You see, you start to have this pressure. Who is giving you that pressure? Is it the university? I think you know that obviously the answer is no. It is your colleague, your student. Student give himself pressure. So if you know who you are, if you know why, like what works best for you in terms of your academics, no one will give you a pressure. So university school doesn't give pressure, but we the individual students, we give pressure. They've given assignment 1 month to present it. You will wait when it's left with 2 weeks. you start doing the assignment. Or even when you start left with 3 days, you start doing the assignment. Give yourself mental pressure. No one is giving you the pressure. They have scheduled a quiz for you in the next 3 months or in the next 2 months, or a midterm test for you. You will wait when it's left with 2 days before you start preparing for that quiz. Who gives you that pressure? It's you yourself. So when that time you didn't prepare earlier and few things are adding up, then you start to blame the system. That the system is there is pressure. I promise, and I'm saying this with much emphasis that there is no pressure in any institution you find yourself. We, the students, you yourself give yourself that pressure. They've taught you, you've piled your notes down. In fact, when you come, I'll do it tomorrow. The thief or the lifestyle of students is about procrastination. We procrastinate everything. We postpone everything. So they've taught you, you've gone for lecture today. Instead of you to come back, go through, learn it, revise it, and know whatever that went on in the lecture theater or in the classroom, you end up piling it down. At the end of the period, when the quiz is scheduled, then you start to go over all of them. You want to cap everything. The mind, the power of the mind, it doesn't work like that. At the end of the day, you say there's a pressure. It is you. So today, start today. When you go for a class today, when you come back, try and revise it. When you are given an assignment, try and start early. And if you have any issues, you see someone for help. All right. So the next thing I would like to talk about is um, you trying to learn on your own or trying to make good grades using the resources available to you. So that's the next point. Trying to make good grades using the resources available to you. You know, there are so much competitions everywhere. So when you go for your class, when you go for your lecture, or you miss a lecture and you don't understand anything, use the resources available to you to find out if you can, understand that particular topic or understand that particular section that was taught that you don't understand before you resort to any help from outside. We have the YouTube available to help you to understand. We have the Google. You have other books, textbooks available for you to understand. If you have a trusted friend that you think that the person will not pollute your mind, you can readily, approach that friend for understanding. If you have a lecturer that is approachable in terms of that, a teaching assistant that you can approach for help, approach them. When you don't your help towards to friends. Sometimes friends can pollute your mind with the wrong information, and then at the end of the period, you know, it will all work. Um, it will all work to your disadvantage. So sorry for the small break. Sorry for the small break. It's as a result of we are using network to project it, so it's as a result of the network. Sorry for the small break. All right, so I'm proceeding with my presentation. So always remember that you first have to resort to the resources available to you to understand what have been taught in the class that you don't understand, or probably you want to make further research. Use the resources available to you. Use your resource person. The lecturer is there. When there is original, don't go and use photocopy. A teaching assistant or a colleague that you are close to. The group studies if that works for you before you resort to someone else. Okay, so always use that, as a means of what getting understanding or grasping the concept that you have taught or you've been taught in a particular lecture. The next thing I would like to talk to you about is how to pass your exams. How to pass exams. How to pass your exams. How to pass your exams. How to pass your exams have been so many. It's been questions that have been asked by so many people. I know that that question rings in your mind, and once upon a time, it also rings in my mind. It's echo all the time. How do I pass? I have known from experience. I've known some students who will go ahead and learn some portion of their textbook or learn some portion of their course and say that that one is very important. They will also learn another portion and say, oh, they will leave the other one. They will say it's not important. They will leave this one. They will say it's not important. It doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't work like that. One CEO of Bank of America said that you being successful in anything you do depends on the amount of information you can process at a time. So sorry for the small break. It's as a result of like I said, the network. All right. So we are proceeding. So if you want to pass all exams, always make sure that you cover almost the most important, all the important, topic. Don't do that. This one will not come. That is a lazy, a lazy student. Don't say that this one will not come, so I will learn this part and ignore this part. This side will not come, so I will learn this one and ignore this one. Please, it doesn't work like that. Always make sure that you cover almost all about 90% of the syllabus or the course you are doing, cover everything. Once you go to the exams hall, you will be able to, you will have that confidence. Even when you're able to cover almost all that you've been taught, it gives you that what? That confidence. It gives you, you'll not be afraid, you'll not be intimidated by any exams, and you're able to what? Write and pass well. So remember, all that we are doing, all it's all to help you to pass your exams, to pass your quizzes, to pass your tests, to pass anything that any exams in your academic life in the university or in any tertiary institution that you will find yourself. So that is very, very important. All right. So the last thing, all right. So welcome back. Sorry for the small break. Like I said earlier on, we are dealing with network and probably you know that there will be small break. Sorry for that. So we are heading towards the concluding part of the whole presentation, and I want to present to you um, the last thing that will help you to make your academic progress successfully, and that has to do with plan your academic life. The last thing I'm going to talk about is going to be plan your academic life. Plan your academic life. Students mostly wake up every day and they don't know what to do. If you want to be successful in your academic life, start today. If you are a fresher, if you're a continuing student, you don't have that, you can start today. Plan your academic life. Know what you are supposed to do in the morning. If there's a lecture, you plan it. Let it be flexible. But once you are able to get, you are able to plan your academic life, I'm not talking about timetable, plan everything about your life, academic life, plan it. That this time I will go here, or this is what I will study. Be flexible to obey. Don't make it so rigid that you cannot obey. Be flexible to obey. Okay, so you have to plan your academic life. So if I wake up tomorrow, I'll have lecture in the morning, in the afternoon I'll be free. I will rest more and I will learn. Maybe I'll sleep more and I will learn. Or maybe in the evening I will learn throughout the night. Or plan your life so that when you wake up tomorrow, not if even if there is an emergency, you'll be able to make it up for the day. Once you're able to get a good a good plan of your academics, or you've been able to plan your academic life properly, the next thing is discipline. There is no one on this earth that have been able to make it without it being controlled or by led by principles, margins of life, standards of life. If you really want to graduate with a first class or a good class, if you really want to make grades, you really want to progress from one level to the other in your academic life, then you are supposed to be bounded by principles and standards. So set yourself principles. Okay, me, I'm not going to do this at this time. Friends will come to you. Okay, let's go to party. But you know what you want. You have planned your academic life. It's left with you to obey it judiciously, effectively, and efficiently. And it's very, very important. It's not just planning your life. You see people when you enter their room, they have their timetable schedule, their personal timetable schedule, and they don't even follow even one bit of it. If you are that kind of student, it will not help you in your journey of your in your academic life. So always try to have this principle, like be disciplined to obey whatever that you have planned for yourself. Be disciplined. Make sure that whatever you have planned, tomorrow I'm going to read this, I'm going to do this course, I'll be going for group studies and stuff. You make sure that you obey it, you be disciplined to obey it, and at the end of the day you will see the end result. So always have an plan academic. You have to have a plan for your academic life. Some people call it, personal timetable. And I have given it. You plan the academic life because it goes more than that personal timetable you're talking about. It's not just about the course. Plan your day, plan your week, plan your month. So after 1 week, you reflect. Have I been able to achieve what I've planned? If not, then I go back and do the what? I effect the corrections. If I'm able to achieve it, fine. Then you know what you do to achieve them. That way it will be able to help you to what, to know your progress in your academic life. So that is about what, planning your life. I'm going to end with the power of the mind again. In your academic life, remember that it's not always the case that you get a good grade or you score a good mark. Once you score a bad mark, please don't be deteriorated. Don't look down upon yourself. Don't be feeling so bad. The power of the mind. Get up again, be determined. Okay, then next time I'll improve. What did you do to score that low mark? What did you do to fail? Get back. Don't stay there for long. Get back on your feet, and I assure you that you can make it. So I'm ending the whole presentation on the power of the mind. And remember that it's not always the key that you are going to make it. It's not always the key that you are going to get good grades. It's not always the key that you are going to make it with good grades. But as a when that happens, please don't stay there. The power of the brain, whatever you think, whatever you feel, that's what you become. Train the brain that next time I'm going to score a good grade. Next time I'm going to what? I'm going to make it. So you back up. Maybe that night you didn't prepare well. Maybe that course is not going well. You seek for help. Don't stay there that way. It will not work. And the power of the brain. Let it work for you. And I'm sure that at the end of it all, everything will be you graduate with a first class or you graduate with a second class upper or maybe even lower. Probably you graduate with what, a good grade. So like I've said earlier on, I want to reiterate that all that I've presented, all that I have said, they are not stories. They are not stories, they are not tales that you just have to read and then let it go. You've listened to it, put them into practice them, and at the end of the day, it will help you, you know, in passing your exams, or it will help you in graduating with a good class. So thank you for joining us for this particular event, and there will be more to come. Please don't forget to subscribe for updates of such events. We'll be having more. You go deeper into how to study. You'll go deeper into how to remember what you have studied. You'll go deeper into um, the power of the brain, how to use the brain to study everything on this earth. We'll be going deeper into them. But because this one is a general something, I just have presented to you the summary of all of them. You one day or in the subsequent online sessions, you will go deeper into each of them. So don't forget to subscribe and enjoy our valuable content. We are also into the business related courses. So if you have any issue on any business related courses like financial accounting, financial reporting, quantitative methods, or any management accounting, cost accounting, any of them, you can watch our videos. You can subscribe to our channel and then be watching our videos for learning. We make all those videos very simple for understanding that will help you in passing all your exams with an ease. So if you have, for now, we are also adding Excel. Excel is a powerful tool that you need in the business world. As an individual, that academic life I can talk about, you can use your Excel to plan it. So we are adding Excel to it, so you can also subscribe and then learn how to use Excel, because it's a powerful tool that will help you in your daily life and in your business world as well. So thanks once again for joining. I've seen Robert, Claudina, Ernest, and then Kana, joining. And once again, we are grateful for your time. Thank you and Bye bye.